Well, good morning everyone, it's Brian from Prime Cuts Lawn Care in Yass, New South Wales, Australia. It's Sunday morning, 8:15 a.m. Just heading off to the veterinary hospital. It's one of those jobs that I just have to do on the weekend. I did the other one yesterday afternoon, and you've really got to do them outside of the weekdays, which is their peak times. So, you know, Sunday works for me and it's fine. So I like to try and get it done early, although now it's I think it's the 6th of April. Things are really cooling down. It was 4 degrees Celsius this morning. It has been dry, although I did show you that rain the other day, which was very nice, but it was let's call it half an inch, 16 mils, a bit over half an inch. But with it being dry, and it actually has been a bit windy as well, that's sort of been and gone. So, and the cooler weather is slowing things down. So I've got pretty much all my customers are on monthly rotations now, or in my schedule. So it's just poking along, doing what I do. So yeah, off to the other veterinary hospital, and I'll see if I can. I haven't been there for a month now, so we'll just see how it is when I get there. So just a quick walk around. There's a few odds and sods. You can see the paspalum there, but it's in bits and pieces. So you can see just here how there's basically nothing growing. And then you look up here, and sort of to the right, not much growth, but then you look to the left near the sign and you see the paspalum everywhere. So, as I said, bits and pieces, and this is a month. So, obviously, being a commercial property, yes, particularly this front area needs a good tidy up. There's a bit out towards the road there. Won't take long to clean up. But then we turn around, and this area to the right, there's, not too much to do. You just need a tidy up mow. Doesn't even need whipper snipping along the fence line, because it's all clear. And then if we look at let's call it the dreaded drain, it's not too bad either. So it'll just need let's call it a quick topping, because the cool weather's got it and it's slowed it down now. Even this area just here in front of us normally grows really well. Not much happened. And then you can see right along the drain, it's pretty much on the left hand side where it's grown, where I normally mow. You can see the demarcation with the mowing line. So I just step across here, and then down towards the horse yards there to the left, not much has grown either. This whole paddock, other than up the top there, which I will whipper snip, it doesn't need much. So it's a bit of odds and sods here today. We'll just go around the back quickly. Just coming up to the horse paddock, e.g. horse, and they've been in here, so nothing needs to happen here. Coming over for a talk, I think. And then bits of paspalum in the tank area, and this definitely needs a mow and a tidy up. So that's okay. So it might be a bit of an abbreviated version, and someone's coming over to talk to me. so as you can see, everyone, I'm just knocking the top off it. You can't get in there because of the drain and rough, and it's dry, but the mower gets stuck in there. So I had to snake all the way down, and we'll just keep on going. So that's the drain done, everyone. You can see how I curved it a bit so I could get the mower in and around. But we'll just walk right up. It's a long way, as I'm sure you could tell. I haven't done around the trees just yet. I won't video that. I'll just rip into that. But you can see how it's right up there. And we'll just walk it so I can have a little breather. I'll just move to the left here and actually get out of the train because it's pretty rough. And here it goes, right up into this area. As I said, I just knocked the top of it. I'll see if I can find some vision of when I first started here. And you'll know how bad it was. In this area here, I do a little triangle because that's where the mower can't go, and the same up there on that tree. So yeah, gets me sweating. So that bit there, you see the black pipe, it's looks like they've repaired it, because this section on this side was also very damp. So but the ground feels fairly firm, so I might put the big mower over that anyway, which is good. So well done everyone. I didn't show some of the other stuff. It's just a lot of mucking around, shifting the video. So up there, I'll walk up that way in a minute. The front left, let's call it, under the trees. Paspalum was a good foot high, so I've worked that back in with the leaves and everything. It's come up really well. You saw me do it at 2 different angles. Get it tidied up. I've leaf blowed as best I could. And then just walking up here, we've all seen this before, and you can see the paddock in the background as well. It has tidied it up a lot, so it's been worth it. And I did run the mower over the back paddock. Looks heaps better. So today I didn't do it up and down, I did it at an angle, and you can sort of see from previous sort of you know, the stripe marks, and I showed you the drain a little bit earlier. But if I come at this angle, you'll see sort of this, you know, like it's dry, but sort of the stripes going that way. So it's evened it up really well, really nicely. I won't show the laneways over there. It's too much of a walk. Come on now. And then down the back where the water tanks are. And that was the other part that had a lot of paspalum, and you can see that I've knocked it down and tidied it up pretty well. I'll only show from here. So that's come up really nicely, and then looking this way, that's come up really nicely as well. So just back in the car, everybody, finished up. Sorry I didn't get any more mowing, but it's just a lot of messing about there, and I sort of wanted to get home. It's sort of 11:30ish, so I wanted to get home by 12 today on Sunday. But I got obviously got more Whippa snipping vision there for you. It's surprising, isn't it? And I'm sure everyone who's involved in lawn care will agree. You know, you look at a property and you think, maybe I could wait a week, and then you do it, and then you just think, nah, I'm glad I did it, because it comes up $1 million and it looks really good. The winds come up today, so it was difficult to leaf blow as much as possible. There were some weeds, more on the concrete and stuff, that I could spray. In other locations it's difficult because I don't want to kill the good plants or flowers or things like that, so you just give that a miss and get it next time, hopefully when it's not as windy. So yeah, so that's it for today. I think I mentioned before that, you know, things have slowed down. We've got the couple of factors in the cool weather and it being dry has really slowed the growth. So a lot of my customers, we're going to monthly rotation now, and some might be even more than that. But that's just how it is, and it's getting into the cooler months, and you know, I guess slowing down, which I've got other things to do, like when I say personal things, at my house and building stuff and all those sort of things, so that'll keep me plenty busy over the winter period. So anyway, back on the Barton Highway, heading back to Yass. I'll be home in about 15 minutes. So thanks everybody for watching, I do appreciate it. Thank you to my subscribers, and I'll catch you soon.